Yaping Abby Lee is the representative of the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Tel Aviv. She has been in Israel for 3 years and held many diplomatic positions before arriving in the country. The Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in Tel Aviv was established all the way back in 1993. I'm Maayan Hoffman, executive editor of ILTV, and I will be your host today for the ILTV News Podcast. Welcome, Ambassador.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, wanted to just jump in with actually was somewhat of a sensitive question, but there are 12 countries that have actually recognized Taiwan's independence, and I actually made a list of them, if it's okay. Belize, Guatemala, Haiti, the Holy See, the Marshall Islands, Palau, Paraguay, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Eswatini, and Tuvalu. However, as you noticed, Israel is not among them. We only have unofficial relations with Taiwan, and yet there is such strong support coming from Taiwan toward the state of Israel. And I wanted to get your take on this, why the approach of such strong and deep connections between our two countries when Israel has not actually taken the step to recognize the country.
First and foremost, I would like to emphasize that Taiwan is a sovereign, independent country. The sovereignty of Taiwan is not decided by the number of the countries that diplomatically recognize us. As a matter of fact, a lot of countries recognize Taiwan as a reliable partner, a force for good. We'll continue to deepen our collaborative and substantive relations with like-minded countries, including Israel. Secondly, I know that the PRC, People's Republic of China, has been praising the so-called One China principle to isolate Taiwan. For instance, they misinterpret United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2578 to misuse it to say that PRC can represent Taiwan internationally in the UN, and also misuse it to affirm its so-called One China principle. And we are grateful and pleased to see more and more countries come out to reject this mischaracterization and to urge the PRC to stop misusing it to its own political end to annex Taiwan. A lot of Taiwanese see a reflection in Israel while you are facing a lot of challenges externally, but you are so solidated, united together to fighting for the survival of the country. That is the inspiration for Taiwanese society, and there's also a important foundation for the two countries and people to work closely.
Interesting. And it's especially, I would think, relevant today, given the challenges that the world is facing with China as it strives to become this world power. It is a world power, but possibly a power that is not for force of good, as you mentioned, with Taiwan being a force of good, that people see it, in that way. Do you think that is going to impact anything in our relations going forward as the United States pulls away from China and Israel potentially then pulls away from China?
As you mentioned, it is not easy for any small countries to deal with the pressure from bullies, especially when these bullies, they have hybrid toolkits to coerce you, including military intimidation, economic coercion, to weaponize its trade relations. But we know that democracy should speak in one voice. When the axis of upheavals working together, democracies should also coordinate our action to stand in solidarity, to helping, to reinforcing each other. I do see a great potential for Taiwan, Israel, and other like-minded countries, Western democracies, to work together to advance the human prosperity.
Now, when it comes to Israel, the core of our relations is really why you are here, is trade and economy. There's been a lot of success in that department. Can you talk a little bit about that and the depth of our relations?
The trade relationship between Taiwan and Israel is quite robust. For many years, we are able to sustain two-digit trade growth despite the challenges of war and COVID pandemic. Taiwan is Israel's fourth largest market in Asia, especially our ecosystem, economic structures complement each other. Taiwan is a leader in hardware, and Israel is a leader in software and innovation. And we always believe that the cooperation between two countries can generate the synergies beyond imagination, that even more so in the upcoming AI age. If we look at the global presence of Nvidia, they depends on Taiwan's TSMC to manufacture the AI chips for Nvidia, and they also invest hugely in Israel to provide the high-tech talents to do the software design. And this is a very simple and easy story for us to know. There is a very strong alliance between U.S., Taiwan, Israel in the leading technologies.
That's super interesting. I didn't even think about that with Nvidia. And wasn't there just some big news about Nvidia as well? It was either purchased or something to that effect. Do you know if there's something big just happened with the company, I feel like, in recent weeks?
Nvidia, the CEO, Jensen Huang, always said that without Taiwan's high-tech ecosystem, the AI revolution is just a dream. With Taiwan, they are able to materialize this dream. We know AI will bring a new momentum to the next generation of industrial revolution. We're looking forward to working with AI giants in the United States, in Israel, and all the like-minded countries to put together our advantages and our leverages and to form up a trustworthy supply chain.
Fascinating. Now, I want to jump a little bit to the Jewish community. I was just reading about Taiwan and, in anticipation of our meeting today, and I saw that the first synagogue and Jewish community center actually opened only a few years ago in 2021 in the country. Can you share a little bit more about the Jewish community in Taiwan? How many Jews live there? What's life like for them?
Mm-hmm. We have a relatively smaller but flourishing Jewish diaspora community in Taiwan. There are about 700 Jewish living in Taiwan, but jokingly we said that one Jewish have two opinions. So the voice of our
we have that reputation even there. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
So in fact, the voice of Jewish diaspora in Taiwan is getting stronger and stronger. Just as you mentioned, that the Jewish Cultural Center was established in 2021, and it not only serves as a second home for those Jewish people living in Taiwan or travel to Taiwan, but also serve as a hub for local Taiwanese to get to know more about the Jewish tradition. We are so impressed by the founder of this center, Mr. Jeffrey Schwartz, his dedication to collect all the beautiful ancient Jewish artifacts to make a comprehensive museum in the cultural center and a comprehensive synagogue in the cultural center. And they also have a kosher restaurant, and it become a new fashion for local Taipei residents to have a high tea in the kosher restaurant nowadays.
What kind of foods do they serve there?
Of course, it stay kosher, so they observe all the regulation for kosher food, but they also incorporate the local cuisine. So it's a very beautiful blend of Jewish and Taiwanese cuisines in this kosher restaurant.
It's like spicy matzo ball soup, or,
I know they change the menu quite often. Why not you visit Taiwan, and we will take you for a tour in the Jewish Cultural Center and taste amazing food there.
Wow, yeah, I'll definitely need to do that. Now tell me, anti-Semitism is growing worldwide, and I'm wondering, is there anti-Semitism in Taiwan? I actually couldn't find many reports about that.
We are very honored to say that Taiwan is the most least anti-Semitic country in the world.
It is the least anti-Semitic country in the world.
Yes.
Wow.
We remain to be a safe haven for all the Jews across the globe. You will see a very natural response that when people know you are from Israel or you are Jewish people, they have a very positive view of you. Yeah.
Oh, that's so fascinating. And how do you get that ranking, the least anti-Semitic, under whose ranking? By your own countries, or is this something that has been actually officially said?
If you look at the travel risk map published by your National Security Council, you will see that Taiwan is always covered with green, which meaning is a zero risk country for Jewish people to travel to.
Amazing.
And also we got this badge of honor from your previous ambassador in Taiwan. Since 2016, we cooperate with your mission in Taipei to commemorate the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We know that it is a very dark and very heavy memory for all human beings. And for Taiwanese government, we not only include this part of history into our human rights education, we also co-sponsor the remembrance event to remind people not to make the same mistake. So on those ceremonies, a lot of your previous ambassadors to Taiwan, they mentioned that Taiwan remains as a safe haven for all Jews.
Wow, so beautiful. I really do hope to come and visit, try this, food, and also experience it. So what is the predominant religion in Taiwan?
Taiwan enjoys diverse religious freedom. But if we talk about predominant religion in Taiwan, there will be a Taoism, which meaning the folk religions, followed by Buddhism and Catholic and Christian combined.
So, normally when you hear of such supportive countries of Israel, at least nowadays, you're often hearing about these evangelical Christians or people coming out of it from the Christian faith. You mentioned Christian, but the other predominant religions are not. So does faith play any role in the support of Taiwan of Israel?
I don't think religion play a dominant role in the relationship between Taiwan and Israel or Taiwan's support after October 7th. I would say that it is the characteristics of Taiwanese people to be warm, peaceful, and hospitable to our friends. Is the main reason why we stand in solidarity with Israel after October 7th.
Wow. Now, give me a little bit of history, if you can, of the Taiwan-Israel relations. I mean, it feels a little bit, and I think you mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, that part of it is this shared experience that we're kind of both, let's call it, I don't want to put it so negatively, but pariah states. We faced very similar challenges. People aren't necessarily accepting of us as independent countries. Is that the basis? I mean, do you agree with that perspective? Well, there has to be something that makes us so close.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If we look at the map, Taiwan and Israel are so distant geographically, but we are neighbors by value. We share the same democratic value. We safeguard the freedom, human rights, and of course, we are two old countries but modern states. We face a lot of challenges in our existential survivals. But while we are dealing with those challenges, we never give up our hopes and our beliefs in humanity and the resilience of our country. This is the first similarities between Taiwan and Israel. In both countries, we have a lack of natural resource, so we can only depend on human capital. So both countries pay a lot of attention to education, and we know that we need to keep innovating in order to thrive under threats. This is another similarities that bring two countries and people closer together.
What is the population
in Taiwan? We have 23.5 million population.
Wow, so still more than double Israel.
Yes,
despite our small
you
size.
just reach 10 million population.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. We have a ways to go. Tell me, you mentioned October 7th, and Taiwan has been incredibly supportive. It's been very interesting to watch, actually, as China has sided more and more with Hamas and the terrorist organizations, the Palestinians, and Taiwan has sided more and more with Israel. I mean, I know you're very different countries and obviously at odds with each other, but talk about that decision to really, despite much international condemnation by most of the world, to continue to be one of the few that stands with the Jewish people and with Israel.
I would like to share this from personal and national levels. From personal levels, I already feel Israel is my home away from home. So when I look at the tragic events of October 7th, actually I act with the whole society. I can feel what you feel. So when I report back to the headquarters in Taipei, I immediately get a very strong support for the endeavors in participating all the humanitarian relief programs in Israel. And from the national level, the government of Taiwan see it is important moment to show the solidarity among the fellow democracies. It is a clash between two ideologies. It is a confrontation from democracies versus terrorism. We have to stand in solidarity to support another democracy. This is a very fundamental in our diplomacy across the globe. So Taiwan is among the first country to express our solidarity and condolence after October 7th. And we have been engaging with various actions to show our solidarity with the people of the state of Israel. And we know that the cooperation or donation is not just a financial one. It is a very strong message. We want to convey that you are not alone, and Taiwan is your reliable partner in this long journey to rebuild home and hope.
Wow. Now, you yourself have even been personally involved. Tell me a little bit about what you have done, because I know that in different hats I've interviewed you out in fields picking vegetables as an ambassador. It's not something you normally see. I mean, tell me what you yourself have done since the unfortunate attack.
While I visit the kibbutz in the south, or I'm helping the farmers to pick up the fruits, actually I feel quite rewarded. Yeah, I always feel that I gaining more than I giving the service. And also by talking with the locals and seeing what's happening on the ground, it also gives me a stronger sense that any testing time, any challenging time, friends are important. International support are important. But more important is the unity and solidarity, the resilience of society. And the resilience of Israeli society, the community support among different civil organizations are inspirations for a lot of countries, including Taiwan.
Wow, it's so beautiful. Now, I did read something very interesting. I came across in this Taiwanese, in a report in these different papers, that there was a Taiwanese pager company that was connected to our incredible attack in Lebanon against the Hezbollah terrorists, the pager attack, as we call it. Do you know anything about it? Is it plausible? You know, is there a lot of military cooperation going on that we just don't talk about?
Yeah, this incident also draws great attention in Taiwan. While we learned the incident, our law enforcement agencies conducted a very comprehensive probe into the event. We already know that the pager itself was not manufactured, not traded, not made in Taiwan. It is a Taiwanese company called Gold Apollo. They licensing the brand names to another countries stationed in Europe. So we know that it is not made in Taiwan, not traded in Taiwan, and we are not involved with the pager incident.
Wouldn't it be cool if you were?
Yeah. However, after the incident, we see a lot of conspiracy stories, a lot of fake online informations, including that Taiwan and Israel are the two bases built by United States for them to materialize its imperialist agenda in Asia and Middle East. And also we see a lot of fake news selling narratives that don't trust the ICT products made by U.S., made by Taiwan or Israel, because they are all belong to the U.S.-led supply chain, which is not trustworthy at all. So we more pay attention to those type of disinformation online.
Sure, because that would obviously negatively impact the country.
Yes.
Without question. It's so fascinating what you said, because it is true. Actually, in trying to figure out, well, did this really happen? Did it not happen? There's a lot of fake news, I guess, out there in terms of its connection to Taiwan.
Yes, yeah. I think they seize every opportunities to sabotage the solidarity among among the Western democracies.
Of course. No, of course. Now, when you got transferred to Israel 3 years ago, did you want to come here?
Well, it's a very good question. I still remember vividly the conversation I had with our foreign minister 3 years ago. He asked me where I want to serve for my first term as the head of mission. I told him I want to come here to serve. And he was a little bit surprised because it's not an easy post for female diplomats.
Yes.
But I never regret about my decision to come here. Personally, professionally, I feel it's so honored to serve here to advance the partnership and friendship between two countries and people of Taiwan and Israel.
Are there many female ambassadors from Taiwan? Is it a very big women's empowerment country?
Yeah, the women empowerment, the performance of women's participation in politics always rank like top places globally. For instance, 42% of our parliamentary members are female.
Really?
Which ranks
we
number
could
one.
learn from you here. I think this is where we need to take from you some advice.
Which ranks make Taiwan ranks top one in Asia. Wow. So we do pay a lot of attention to women empowerment and trying to reinforce the gender equality in Taiwan through government policies and also through the social movement.
Fascinating. The education system, is it really strong?
Yeah, the education system is very strong. Everyone require the same benefit to participate in education system, regardless of your ethnicity, regardless of your gender. So far, I'm the only female ambassador in the Middle East region, but we have a lot of female head of mission globally, and they are doing amazing jobs. Also, your representative to Taiwan is a female representative. She also doing a great job in Taiwan.
Wait, who is our representative? That's embarrassing that I don't know that answer, but
Maayan.
Okay,
Yes.
Amazing. So tell me, I know this is a funny question, but I'm very curious as to what you think of the food here in Israel, because this Mediterranean diet and what we eat versus what you eat at home. Can you compare them a little?
Yeah. In fact, I'm quite impressed by the diversity, availability, and also the freshness of the material ingredients of food here. You know, Taiwan is always been called a paradise for foodies. So my comment has some level of credibility. The food here is amazing, and enjoy the culinary culture here is quite a lot. But of course, if you compare the Israeli food and Taiwanese food, it is quite different. Taiwanese food, the main ingredients is more based on rice, and the sauce we use more often is soy sauce. Okay. So here is more like a salt and lemon juice and pepper. So a little bit different, but diversity-wise, freshness-wise, two countries can be the top in the world.
Wow, that's a huge compliment. That's really good. What is your favorite food here in Israel?
I really like hummus and schnitzel.
Really? Okay, schnitzel's not so fresh, but okay. Anyway, that's great. So looking ahead, what is your vision for the future of Taiwan-Israel relations? How can our two nations really deepen the partnership that we already have and address some of the challenges and also opportunities that might be available to us in the coming years when hopefully, God willing, this war ends?
Mm-hmm. For the past 3 decades, two governments has signed 34 government-to-government agreement to advance our cooperation across different fields, including medicine, agriculture, trade, science and technology, and etc. There's a very strong moment for two countries to work even closer and to move forward. We know that we have to be very smart to navigate through different type of complexity. But I can see very strong interest and very strong support from private and business sectors in Israel and in Taiwan as well. We know that nowadays the geographic theaters are interconnected than ever before. We know that Taiwan and Israel have very significant meanings in terms of democracy, in terms of high tech or innovation in our region. We are our important ally, close ally to United States. I can expect more cooperations between two countries and between our relationship with United States.
Now, is there anything else that you want to add, or was there something that you wanted to bring up that I didn't ask you that you think our listeners and viewers should know?
And I would like to welcome our viewers at home and abroad to take a chance to visit Taiwan, to feel the resilience of this island, to see the beautiful nature, to taste our world-famous cuisine, and more importantly, to meet with our people who are working so hard to defend our democratic way of life, to defend what we have achieved globally, and to maintain our society free.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ambassador Abby Lee from Taiwan. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.